The Extraordinary Rendition of Janos Farkas, Chapter 38. There was not the violence in it the priest would have liked. In an ideal world, he would have raped the wife before cutting her tits and sodomizing her, slicing her from her pubic bone to her ribs, watching her gurgle for breath. The thought of the violence buoyed the priest's steps as he strode through the lower middle-class neighborhood up into the El Muhajirin area. The wife had picked her son up at the same time, to within minutes, and Abdullah said that Abbas always left Far Philistin at 5:30 p.m. and went straight home. It was a 35-minute drive, and he should pass the priest any time now. It was like clockwork as the big Mercedes appeared over the rise in the street. The priest unclasped his hands behind him and brought them around, each hand sliding along a wrist, almost disappearing into the sleeves of his cassock. With his head still bowed, it looked like a reverential move, but it was just a chance to look at his wristwatch. It was 6:04. Perfect. The Mercedes paused outside the villa as the electronic gate opened and then disappeared inside. Pattern. That was the key to kidnapping, pattern. And the Abbas family had pattern. Tomorrow, when Abbas got home, there would be soldiers at the gate. When he rolled down the window to see what was happening, there would be a gun in his face. "Welcome home, Colonel Abbas. Come inside. Your wife is waiting. She has not yet been harmed or raped." Unable to help himself, he raised his head to the sky and held his arms out, palms up, as if his prayers had just been granted. But it was not God, Allah, or the great Jehovah to whom he was talking. It was to something darker, something very dark, an Antichrist that filled his breast. As he lowered his gaze, he heard the rhythmic clanking of a diesel motor approaching. An old van slowed, then stopped next to the priest. An unshaven man stuck his head out the window. "Do you want a ride, Father?" The priest shook his head. "Are you going far?" Again the priest shook his head. "I am Catholic, Father. You would do me a great honor. Ride with me. I insist." The priest motioned helplessly as the man leaned over and pushed open the passenger door. Inside, the van reeked of oily rags and diesel fumes. Only the sourness of the breath coming from behind him stood apart. "It is as I told you, no?" the voice behind said. "Yes, Abdullah, it is as you told me." Turning past Abdullah's coarse face, he pulled the curtain aside. Turk and one of Alismari's men were in the back. "Where is Alismari?" he asked. "Tell him we need to meet tonight. Tomorrow is the day. I will only need 6 men. 3 of them must be able to have their faces seen. They can be Lebanese, Palestine, whatever. People who can disappear and become faceless again overnight. And we need army uniforms for them and a vehicle, and army-issue weapons. Everything must be current. Nothing can give away the fact that they are not real members of the army." "Where's Gisela?" he asked Turk, who only shrugged for an answer. "Perhaps she would like to join me tomorrow night," the priest said. "Tomorrow night for tea with Colonel Abbas's wife, while he is bringing us her brother, Janos." Protocol would have said to burn the address and flush the ashes down the toilet, but Ayn had ignored protocol and kept the small slip of paper. Rather than risk misleading pronunciation, she showed it to the driver. "Yes, I can help you," he replied, nodding at the address. "Hurry," she said. "Fast, vite, besora." And she took an American $100 bill, threw it over the seat to spur him on. Then she realized that might have been a mistake. In Syria, Americans throwing their money and weight around was not greatly appreciated. "And I'm in Inglaterra," she said quickly. "I'm from England. Manchester United. David Beckham." "He lives in America," the cab driver replied. "Hollywood." Ayn didn't argue. 4:30. "There will be a jet tomorrow very early at the airport. 4:30 a.m. takeoff. It's for your husband, Jonas Farkas. She looked at her watch. It was 7. How much time did that leave her to find a way to keep them from putting Jonas on that plane? Not enough. Not nearly enough. Less than 12 hours. She held hope in her rest that Gisela and Turk had a plan that could be acted upon quickly. Hurry, she said to the driver. Hurry. Besara. The driver shrugged her Besara off, pointing out the window. The traffic was bumper to bumper, side to side, inching and stopping, almost imperceptible in its movement. Ayn thought of hurling another $100 bill at him, but didn't. Then she thought of getting out and running, walking, crawling. Anything would be faster than this. But she had no idea which way, no idea which direction to go in. She remembered the affluent area on the higher ground. She remembered going down from it away from the sun. So the area she was looking for was to the east of the other area. She remembered the reaction to Abdullah's name. Abdullah from far Philistin. He was known, he was feared. People reacted. If she could get close to his area, she could find him. She was sure she could. Hurry, she said again, please. But she knew the futility of her request and slumped back in her seat. I'll try another way, the driver said. He put his hand and head out the window, blasting his horn until a space opened up, and he pulled his car into it and then turned into a narrow street that was not clogged by cars. It was clogged by people. The driver called over to a small boy, talked to him, and gave him some money. The boy walked in front of the car and started yelling. The people gave way as the taxi followed the boy down the street. The taxi driver grinned at Ayn in the mirror. He's yelling out that I have a pregnant woman in the car, he said. A movie star. Your baby is coming, we must hurry. And he honked the horn to emphasize his point. Movie star, he yelled out the window as he moved forward. Ayn pulled her scarf under her eyes and pushed herself deep into the corner of the seat, her left hand over her stomach, trying to conceal what was not there. They rounded the corner and the driver sped up. The crowd thinned. Only a few youngsters ran with the car, banging their hands on the window. I like Hollywood, the driver said, stepping on the gas. In 10 minutes, Ayn was outside the house on the address. When she knocked on the door, an elderly lady answered it. The woman pointed to a building down the street. My son, Abdullah, lives there, she said. The one with the green door. When there was no answer, no sign of life at the house with the green door, Ayn returned to the first house. No, the woman did not know where Abdullah was. Did she know where Abdullah's cousin, Turk, and the woman Gisela were? Yes, the woman knew where they were. They were with Abdullah. Think, Ayn said to herself, think. She was Jonas Farkas's wife. She had followed him this far, even seen him. Now he was going to be taken away again. Think. What could she do? What was she supposed to do? Think. That's the end of chapter 38. Tomorrow, chapter 39.